On the east side, it went up at low end because the soils they have over there. On the west side, it went up on the high end, and Puget Sound went up even higher. So anyway, we did get adjustments, but it wasn't enough to do that. So that also helped us look at this, our overall project. What are we trying to provide? Our primary purpose of the project is to address safety, but we also heard loud and clear that you care about economic development. We continue to grow in the cities and the ability to get folks back and forth across the freeway and not have the freeway be a barrier to the growth of your community and access to the route. So with that, with the support of the different staff members and stuff, we came up with a new design. Instead of having only access to 4 ramps at this one location and no access here, we decided they figured out this new game plan where we put access here. When we had the 4 ramps coming into this, to Union, one of the issues is you have there's a standard diamond interchange, which we have at 192nd, 164th, et cetera. The on-ramp comes from here, comes on the freeway at 14. You can't have an access at 2nd, an on-off or driveway or whatever kind of approach you want. Because this on-ramp, people will be accelerating and looking back over the shoulder, accelerating into traffic, and then somebody can't come out in front of the driveway, basically, is what 2nd would be, in front of them, and it'd be beyond a major accident problem. It's just completely unacceptable type of design to allow that to occur. So we had to build it on 2nd. There's just no way in that design. And that's what you guys said, and listening to your businesses in the general community as well. Port said the same thing, which is this is not really acceptable to us. Figure out a game plan. So this is the new game plan. We've been showing this game plan, actually full-blown plan, since 2008. We haven't changed it at all since 2008. Shown it to you, shown it to the city council at Camas, showed it to the port more than once. I think we've been, this is the 3rd time here, at least twice to the city Camas, and at least twice to the port. Plus, we had several open houses since 2008 to share this concept. In addition to that, we had our legal access hearing, which is a formal legal hearing, which the abutting property owners that we were buying access from were not only invited, but we were given a formal legal packet and had to go through and explain exactly what we were doing to each of those properties that we were buying access from, or had basically had buying access from. And that means means a couple different things. I guess leave it at that. If you have questions at the end, I'll answer those. So the new plan that we came up with in 08 was an off-ramp coming off 14 to a new frontage road on the south, a brand new frontage road. The on-ramp going to Vancouver is on here. Then instead of having the on and off ramps over here, we shifted them over to Union, to 2nd, and we have the off-ramp to this general area coming off to this location. And we have the on-ramp to get back on 14 to go east right here. So an off-ramp, an on-ramp, an on-ramp, and an off-ramp. So you split the two with frontage roads on both sides, connecting the two. So basically it acts as one big interchange, providing you throughput so people can go back and forth, north and south under both of them. But instead of only getting off one location and having to take a local road, it basically splits that up on both sides. It doesn't provide that access at 6th, the exact same thing I said before around Union. We can't have this on-ramp come on at 2nd and leave 6th open because, again, people, as they're accelerating, get up to freeway speed, they'll be looking over their shoulder, and somebody will come out and cut out in front of them. It's just not an acceptable option for an engineering solution. Likewise, about the same thing, going the opposite direction. Let's see, median barrier, the whole length. What happens here is Highway 14 comes up and goes over the top of Union. 14 will be about 20 feet higher than Union at that location. And then 14 will come down a little bit to maybe 15 feet high here. But then it goes right back up to 20 some odd feet here at 2nd. So we're 20 some odd feet in the air and we come back down. So the question is, can we put another ramp here or put another ramp there in order to pull off? One thing, physically we can't, we're too far high up in the air to pull a ramp down in between. But regardless, it's a freeway, just like we have 192nd, 164th. And I'm sure a lot of people between the two would like to have their separate off ramps and on ramps to 14. But 14 is a freeway. There's spacing of on and off ramps, it's a mile minimum between on and off ramps, and that's the minimum. Preferably, it's longer than that. But we hear everywhere we go that people, businesses need to have and want to have, you know, the signal in front of their business to make it viable, on and off ramp in front of business or driveway. And that's understandable. We'd like to have it everywhere. That's not the purpose of the freeway though. If we did that for the freeways, had on and off ramps or driveways to each of the businesses that want one, then you'd end up having C Street or 8th Street or the frontage road. And that's what we have. That's why it's a localized road. We have access to that localized road, but if we allow driveways every place that the business would want one on the freeway, it would no longer be a freeway. It would just be a local system. And I think that's why we built 14 back in the 60s, because that's what we had when the highway used to go right through town and didn't stop, you know, every couple blocks for signal, and you had driveways coming in and out. We don't know what we're doing at, you know, down here at 15th, I mentioned that to you last time, 15th to 32nd, is still up in the air. Something like this may work, yeah, between 15th and 32nd, with maybe a one-lane road, one-directional road in between, to still provide that access to the businesses in between as a frontage road type system, in lieu of having the freeway be, you know, the no access basically. So that's one of the many ideas that we have down in that area, because we know how important it is to have one access at 27th, the businesses off 27th, as well as the port off 32nd, et cetera. We haven't done much more work since we talked. In fact, we haven't done any work since we met with you last regarding that segment. We just don't have the money, we don't have the time. We're in the final stages of making last offers. We have probably 4 properties left to acquire. I talked to Mr. Killian, who owns this property over here, like Friday night, again this morning. He's looking at selling his property to somebody. So we're trying to finalize our transaction as fast as we can to get out to construction. We're planning to go to construction in spring, go out to bid spring of this year. Right now, the tentative date is March 7th. But the idea is we have the summer construction window that we really need to hit. We'd like to have gone out to construction last summer, but the right-of-way acquisitions are taking longer than we planned. And we're still getting a permit or two from the city of Camas.
Shorelines and critical areas.
So whereas we understand each of the businesses, the port would like to have a separate, you know, access off 14 directly to the port. What we agreed to councils in the port back in 2008 was to improve that access, to go ahead and build a split diamond interchange, build a frontage road on the south side that you can have access off of, still have access on the north side, and basically split it up so not everybody's getting off one location, half the people can truly get off the freeway at the other location. Likewise, as the gentleman said, if somebody drives by and misses this access, yeah, there won't be an off ramp here, you have to go up to 15th. But we have the same issue whether you miss the Mill Plain, you're on I-205, you miss Mill Plain, you have to drive up to 500 and loop around. If you're on SR 14 and you miss 164th, 100 businesses, more than 100 businesses up 164th. You miss that interchange, you miss the interchange, you gotta go to the next one. It's a sad situation, and I know that everybody would like to have better access to each of their businesses, but we can't, the freeway cannot provide access to each and every business that wants it. It won't be a freeway, and it won't provide the function